Hey everybody, Jay Reno here, welcome back. Continuing our way through the Metroid Prime Trilogy. We're on Metroid Prime 3, Corruption. We've made our way back to Elysia. Just like the first time we were in Elysia, and then we had to backtrack to Brio, now we're at our first time on the pirate homeworld, and we had to backtrack to Elysia. So we're here for the Spiderball. There's one particular location that we have not been yet.
Samus, Unit 217 has discovered evidence of hidden chosen artifacts in Skytown. Perhaps these could assist you in accessing the rest of the pirate base.
Miles ahead of you, 242. So in this ring-shaped room, we've never gone through two of these doors. So this one first, and oh look. So we need to feed some energy into this thing. And then we can zip line over to a new area. Oh, sorry, maintenance bots. That's like another 100 years of work for you. Get to it. We really don't have to go far at all to get the spider ball. We just needed the grapple voltage. Strange way to turn the camera, but sure. Alright, let's get some lore. Defeat. The 2 weeks following the seed's impact were disastrous. Like the Aurora unit, we too were infected with a Phazon-based virus. The spreading corruption consumed many of us, putting us under space pirate control. It was not long before only a handful of us remained. During this time, there was but a moment that we received aid. Gore, the hunter, dispatched by the Federation, arrived here to restore the Aurora unit. Our hope quickly vanished as he too was corrupted by Phazon and lost his own will. He now leads the assault on the remaining survivors, taking more and more of the station over with each passing day. There's no hope left for us. Soon we too will be among the enemy forces. The last of us now stand before the brink of our history's end, silently waiting our final hours. I am Elysian, descendant of both the Chozo and the First. I am facing the last moments of my life and transferring my memory to the datapod. That's depressing, but we're here. We're here to save the day. We've restored the AU. And that's it. It's just that easy. Spiderball online. So now we can attach to those magnetic rails. Keep it up, maintenance bot. You're doing the Lord's work. That thing can actually knock you off the tracks if you're not careful. Alright, we can hear the whirring of an upgrade. This area is a bit of a red herring. You don't have to drop down there for anything. It's just those rocks break away. And instead of dropping here, I'm going to hop over to the other side here. These tracks are easily missed. Whoop. But we want to grab this missile expansion now, because I really don't want to have to come back here. This Spiderball area is a bit out of the way. Alright, let's get the heck out of here. Use the boost ability, just like in Prime 2. I think that was one of the best things they introduced in Prime 2 was the boost ball spider ball interaction. Alright, so similar to the entrance of Sanctuary Fortress in Prime 2, it's all busted up, so we have to take a lengthy Spiderball Track back. Get our research. So while we make our way, I'll point out the next major thing we're going to be starting in the game is the Red Phazoid Hunt, which is just... In some rooms, these enemies called Phazoids now spawn. You have to kill them in Hypermode, and some of the Phazoids will spawn red Phazoids. The only reason you bother with this at all is because you get achievements for killing the red Phazoids. Nothing else. You get no benefit for doing it, but I've been doing pretty good at getting all the other achievements, so I guess we'll kill all the red Phazoids. Though some of them are kind of out of the way. Only some of them. Many are going to be just right along the same path we're already taking, but a few of them, particularly in the pirate homeworld, we're going to have to do some weird room reloading in order to make them spawn. But we can worry about that once we get to our first one here in Elysia. So while we're here in Elysia, I'm going to go ahead and collect any other pickups here and lore scans in this part of Elysia. And then we'll come back later to hit the Chozo Observatory and all that kind of stuff. We can do that on a return trip. Alright, so now we're going to head back to where we got the boost ball. Bonk. Just continuing our trend of ignoring the Dragoon battle drones. I'm going to power up this elevator. So now we can take the back way up. And this is going to dead end in the room where we fought the defense drone and got the boost ball. So now there's a Steam Lord, but here's the funny part. We have the X-ray visor now, so we can just roast this guy. Go back into Hypermode, which cancels our X-ray visor. There we go. Just use some hyper missiles there. And then now with the grapple voltage, we can overload these fans. So this is an energy cell. This one's pretty out of the way. I'd consider this one pretty optional comparative to a lot of the other ones you get along the way. So that's 5. And a couple more things we can do outside in this room before we leave. So first thing, we can jump over to this platform. Missiles, which at this point, you know, I could take them or leave them. We don't need any more missiles, but we're going to get over 100 more. Sure. Phazon. 1 week after we had lost communication with the Aurora unit, we witnessed the living planet strike again. It sent forth several stellar objects, one aimed directly for us. It streaked through the clouds of Elysia, destroying a large portion of our home, ultimately striking the distant core below. Soon our sensors detected the presence of strange energy. Our readings matched with the Federation's data. This was the same toxin that corrupted countless other planets in our creator's world, the galactic scourge called Phazon. So I think at this point we're reading these out of order. The one in the room where we got the Spiderball seemed like it was supposed to be the last one chronologically. Alright, so rather than going back down, I'm going to go and grab my first red Phazoid, which you can see down there. So let's go ahead and scan it. So this is just a normal Phazoid. They all look like normal Phazoids at first. Then you gotta blast the crap out of them, and they're gonna split. And certain ones will split into a red one. The red ones, I think, have like twice as much HP as the others. You can see it drops a little gold credit. And then these things, they'll split into small ones and will likely overload you. So let's vent ourselves. And get the heck out of here. So there's another Phazoid over there, but we don't have to kill that one. There's no point because it doesn't split into a red one. The same Phazoids split into red ones, and I know where those are, so we can pretty much avoid all the others. There are 10 total. Continuing our proud tradition of ignoring the Dragoon battle drones.
Samus, this is Admiral Dane. I've ordered the Federation fleet to walk to the pirate homeworld and begin the invasion. I think it's time we took the fight to them. We'll contact you when we're ready to commence our assault.
Sure thing, Admiral. So this is a connecting room that I never visited prior to this. There's a red Phazoid in here. The Phazoids show up after you destroy the seed on each world. So if you know that a red one's going to show up, it might be worth your time to just not. There we go. To just not even go in the room. Until you know that it'll appear. Also, this room has Spiderball Tracks to collect an item and a lore scan, so it's one of those where I just avoided it until I had all the requirements to come in here and get everything at once. Oh boy. Just what we always needed. Gotta shoot it first. Invader. We watched as Elysia fell victim to the meteor's corruption, its Phazon beginning to consume her. High above the noxious surface, we continued to collect data on the object. It was not long before we met a new enemy. Space pirates, hostile alien life forms, and sworn enemies of the Federation entered the station and attacked. The pirate forces struck swiftly, their numbers and weapons dwarfing our own. After their initial assault, they began construction of a massive energy shield around the meteor. They referred to the fallen object as a seed and quickly built a protective barrier. Any resistance they met from us was crushed, and the massive shield was built without interruption. Our attention then turned to the pirates themselves. If we could not stop them through combat, perhaps there was another way. Our studies quickly yielded unexpected results. All of the space pirates were corrupted with Phazon, but unlike other life forms, they were actually being sustained by it. This Phazon kept them alive, and it appeared to control their minds with a will of its own. That's in line with the lore that we've learned from the pirate homeworld, where Dark Samus essentially took over the space pirates. What we still don't know is when she took over like the entirety of the space pirate homeworld. But I'm sure we're going to learn that. She clearly sent a Leviathan to crash into that world. Okay, so now we're close to the very first docking bay on Elysia, so that's how we're going to leave, and we can grab another expansion on the way out. Alright, this thing roasted me my first time through here, so let's not let it happen again. Okay, there's the Spiderball tracks. So this is everything on this part of Elysia. So we don't have to come back here to this specific side of Elysia. The side with the observatory we will revisit, but not right now. Don't fall off. You can see how much HP we burned through to use Hypermode to kill the Phazoids, so it's not something I want to be in the habit of doing constantly. Please? You also probably noticed that when we came out from where we landed, the Spire dock is just completely gone, because that's what was dropped onto the Seed Shield with the bomb in it. So that's just gone, and it's been replaced with some Morph Ball cannons. I didn't want to cheese that one. It might have been the last zip line we're riding.
Data received.
Alright, so next stop is going to be back to the pirate homeworld. Where we can use our brand spanking new Spiderball to hopefully get the hazard shield, which will allow us to pretty much progress through any other part of the pirate homeworld that we so desire. So I'm going to land back over in the research facility. This is where we fought Gandrada, or where we landed in that zone where we found the Marine that was Gandrada disguised. So what we're coming up on here is actually some of the final gear pieces to pick up. There's really not much left that we're going to actually get in terms of usable items. Once we have all those, then we can start backtracking to Norian, to Brio, to the last part of Elysia, and just be in full cleanup mode. I think Brio is probably the one that will take the most time. Alright, so I'm going to go to the right and backwards so that we can get back to where we fought Gendrada right away. We could take the mass transit train. I think there are 4 of these trams, which does make Pirate Homeworld a little confusing. I used to think that Elysia had the most confusing layout, mostly because the minimap felt a little convoluted with the way that the hallways were designed to like wrap around the central structures, but now I feel that the Pirate Homeworld is probably the most convoluted.
Samus, the Federation Armada is now in orbit above the Pirate Homeworld. We're ready for the final assault, but the base is protected by a barrier that prevents us from landing. We need you to disable this defense system. Unit 242 has located its control center. Here are the coordinates.
Great. We're really getting ahead of ourselves, Admiral Dane. I don't even have the shield yet, the hazard shield. But we're close. We're close. Alright, so here's the Spiderball Track that Samus looked at for several seconds, as if to say, this is conspicuous in a cinematic. Please. Okay, actually we don't want to move this bottom one first. We can grab an energy tank while we're here. Oh. Got a little ahead of myself there. All right. Slightly reminiscent of that tower in Prime 1 in the Phazoid Mines. All right, we've made it. Hazard shield online. Comes with a nice suit visual upgrade as well. So this also makes us immune to fuel gel. Okay, these pirates I think may only show up in this room, so this is the best time to get them. Assault arrow troopers with the gold armor. Oh jeez. So you can see now we're just in the acid rain, but it doesn't harm us. Got some commandos coming in. Guess they're just gonna stay invisible. Perfect. Got them all with one energy tank. So there's a couple places we can go now. The first that comes to mind is through this white door. We never walked through here, but I knew that there was acid rain, so that's why I never did in the first place. Can also take a slight diversion to grab an energy tank. Not an energy tank, a missile expansion. I wish it was an energy tank. Jolly Roger drone, you have no business being this late into the game. None. Gotta use our missiles. Hyper missiles. Taking Valhalla. The vision of our leader is vast indeed. As we prepared for war with the hated Galactic Federation, she decided she required one of their great machines to better control her living planet. We then set out to bring an Aurora unit to Dark Samus. Bribes led us to the location of our prize, the battleship Valhalla, crewed with green recruits on a training mission. She was ours for the taking. One of the mightiest ships in the cosmos was no match for the Phazon-powered weapons of the Colossus. We rendered Valhalla helpless, then sent raiders to claim our prize. The Aurora was ours. There was to be no mercy for the Federation dogs. At the command of Dark Samus, we jettisoned the crew into the frigid depths of space, leaving the wreck of the Valhalla as a warning to the Federation. Let them tremble before our might. Jerks, you know? Alright, so we actually gonna have a mini-boss fight in this room. Alright, so now we have to fight the Metroid Hatcher. When the head's interior is damaged, its tentacles can be ripped off. Mutation has robbed the Metroid Hatcher of its ability to phase, but has provided it a hardened outer shell which has identical attributes to Phazite. This shell protects the creature's heart, located at the core of its head. The Hatcher's tentacles are quite dangerous and can leech energy from any target they connect to. However, the tentacles are also the creature's weak point. If all its tentacles are ripped from its body, it will perish. As such, it will attempt to recover energy by retracting them into its shell when they take damage. While the Hatcher's tentacles are retracted, it's unable to attack, relying on the Phazon Metroids it spawns from its mouth for protection. If the interior of the creature is hit while its mouth is open, it loses its strength. The Hatcher's tentacles can be ripped off if they're pulled at this time. Okay, so here's a situation where I think missiles are actually pretty good to hit these tentacles. Just gotta shoot them. Hello, sir? just spinning. Please. I guess a missile never connected with this specific tentacle. There we go. Now he's gonna spin around like a doofus. At that point, he would spawn Metroids, but we stunned him before he could. And then we rip off a tentacle, and the process repeats. I don't know if it's possible to use Seeker Missiles on only one target. I don't actually know. I guess I could try it. Because you can't lock on otherwise to the individual tentacles. Alright, those two connected just fine. Not even gonna let him spawn any Metroids. No, sir. I guess let's try this just because I'm curious. Yeah, see? It didn't look like it properly locked on. It just shot a normal missile. Maybe you do need more than one target. Where you going, buddy? He does move a lot faster, so it makes it hitting this final tentacle a lot harder, even though there's only one. Get. Okay, that should do it. So the reward for that is now the spinner works. That's pretty much it. Just kidding. There is a reward in this room. We're gonna have to come up here twice. First time to hop up here to this Spiderball Track. Very nice. There's that energy tank I wanted. So that's what, 11? I think it's 11 energy tanks out of 14. Solid stuff. I like how we're just bonking around in the ceiling. There we go. Alright, and this leads to another transit system. There's also a save room here. I'm just going to walk in. I'm not going to use it. Don't need to right now. But just for the sake of room discovery completion, which is not really a thing, but I'm doing it. So the only other place that our acid shield or hazard shield really comes into play specifically is back in the main courtyard. If you remember, that's where we got the notification about the acid rain in the first place, and there was a big shield that required the grapple voltage. So that's where we want to go next. It's a bit of a shortcut to get there using this transit system. The thing is, if you don't know the layout of the pirate base your first time through the game, you just sort of blindly get on a train and hope it takes you to kind of an area where you think you need to go, but, you shall see. You also need the hazard shield to come out here. And we're actually at the top of the elevator in the main area. So hey, look at that. We're exactly where we wanted to be. I was trying to get out of it to save some health, but that's fine. Not necessary right now. So while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and grab some... I'm going to grab a lore scan. It's kind of in a weird spot. I guess we don't need... I could have gotten this earlier. You don't need the acid shield, or the hazard shield, rather, but you do have to walk through the acid rain to get it. And the acid rain does like a shocking amount of damage to you after a couple seconds. That's fine. It's not that far out of the way, and we've got time. Whoa. Disaster at Elysia. The march of the Hunter continues, much to our dismay. She has smashed our line at Elysia, taking down Commander Golra in the process. The accursed Elysian machines were no match for Iran's guns, and now the Federation has control of their spy station once again. It is only a matter of time before they find the location of the Phazon source and send their fleets to lay siege. Our great leader does not seem to mind these setbacks. If Samus comes to our homeworld, she will find us ready. I mean, I guess. We've been bombing through you so far, dude. Okay, so now we can take down this. And if we didn't get them earlier, right when we came to the pirate homeworld, here are those weird little skritter things, but we've already scanned those. I still am not sure what's more Phazon efficient, whether to kill the commandos with normal hypermode shots or with missiles. $700 kills. What have I done to deserve such an honor? Well, I guess kill 700 things, right? Purification. Our great leader, with the aid of our captured Aurora unit, has discovered many of Phase's secrets. Dark Samus can now command the living world to send forth Phazon seeds. She was eager to test this new power. When we heard the first world to receive this blessing was our homeworld, we rejoiced. The seed was sent into the void and quickly made its way to our homeworld. Our brethren foolishly tried to repel it, but their efforts were in vain. To think once we were as pathetic as them. Now the deed is done, and slowly our homeworld becomes like Phase. Soon there will be 2 living planets, 2 Phazon sources for our great leader to use as she sees fit. Soon there will be thousands of new disciples for her to command. That sort of fills the gap. I feel like that Elysia one that we read was kind of out of order. That one was probably supposed to come later, but it was on the way, so I grabbed it. Okay. I just want to not be in Morph Ball form. So I can go ahead and drop this shield for later, just so it's open. And then let's go ahead and take the Spiderball Track. So that room right there, that's connected to, if you remember where we fell out of the ceiling and there was the green pirate door, that's where that is. We still can't open the green door, and it's also behind a giant Phazon shield, so can't do anything with that currently. Another transit station. So at this point, we will have taken all 4 transit stations. Again, it makes it feel like the pirate homeworld is like weirdly complex with all these interconnected transit tubes, but really, again, with the route that I have here, you're really only taking them once or twice each. At least until later when we're going red Phazoid hunting. Nice little train ride. Could have listened to a podcast along the way, I guess. Alright, and we got our save station here. This is the great spot to stop. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. I'll see you next time as we dig into the mining facility of the Pirate Homeworld. See you!